Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back today to another video, and in today's video I'm going to start something probably going to turn into a series, but it is how to get better at Fortnite, because as of right now there are so many sweats, and most of them do play creative and they do play arena, but some of those sweats also play pubs, you know, because they're probably trying to get clips and things like that. But being a not as good player, this can be very frustrating because you're trying to win a game, and how are you supposed to win a game when these people are like super cracked? And it's just really hard for you to win. So I'm going to do my best in this series to try to help you guys win more games and get better at the game so you can beat those sweats, you know. So sounds really nice. Let's get into the video. Alright, so one of the main things that you do in Fortnite, obviously you know, it is building. And in this game, building is pretty much almost everything. I mean, shooting is too, but you know, sometimes it is build first, shoot later. So what you need to do is, one, you need to learn your build button, get used to switching between your builds and your guns, because if you can switch between those back and forth, that can either result in you getting sent back to the lobby or staying in the match. So if you know how to build, you can finesse your way out of situations to go heal, try to get high ground, you know. You can learn how to box people up, as you hear. That's piece control. We'll talk about that in a later video. But building is essential. You need to learn how to build. The most basic build I recommend that you learn is ramping, and ramping looks like this.
A few moments later.
I'm going to be showing you guys how to ramp. So when you're trying to push for height, okay, when you're going towards someone trying to push them, you want to do this thing called ramping. Now sometimes you see, the faster you can ramp, you know, you can go for high ground. You see, when you're learning how to ramp, oftentimes when you're ramping, you're going to be looking too high, and boom, you're going to place a floor over your head. You're going to get yourself stuck, which can lead to the other opponent, you know, gaining high ground on you. Okay, so let me explain to you how you should be ramping. When you're ramping, you don't just want to place one ramp, because if there's a person down below and you're really high, they can just spray that, break that, and then you're gonna take fall damage and potentially die. So let me show you. You want to ramp like this. You want to place a ramp. How I ramp, I go floor, wall. You can place builds under your ramp. So you go ramp, floor, wall, ramp, floor, wall, ramp, floor, wall. And as you can see, as I'm ramping, I'm looking down, because you can see where the floor is going to place. See, if I look too high, it's going to place over my head, but if you look down, it's going to place under. And if you, same thing with the wall, if you hold the wall, it will place there. If you look too high, well, because I'm so far back on the ramp, it won't place that high. But if you're running up and you look too high, see, it's going to place on top. So you practice this build, you just practice ramping. You look up, then you look down, up, down, up, down. That's pretty much how you learn. And the reason why you want to ramp like this is because if there is someone on low ground, and I'll show you right now, you see they have to shoot through a floor, and then they have to shoot through a ramp, and then that breaks down everything. But the reason why this is a more efficient way to ramp is because by the time you reach your opponent on the other side, your builds are probably going to be connected to there. So even if someone does try to shoot down your ramp, you're already going to be connected to someone else's build, so you're not going to take fall damage and die. So yeah, pretty much if you want to learn the basics of building, learn how to ramp, and that'll give you high ground 9 times out of 10 in your early game fights. The next thing that you're probably going to do in Fortnite is, a lot of you guys are probably going to try to pick up that sniper and try to snipe people, but the problem is you're either standing out in the open trying to snipe, or you're on your builds but you're peeking super hard. Peeking is basically how far you're looking off your build, or how much of yourself is exposed while you're trying to shoot or snipe people. Peeking doesn't necessarily apply only to sniping. You know, you can peek and like hold your AR and things like that, you know, try to look at somebody. But while you're peeking, you also need to realize that there are potential people trying to third party. So I recommend you either try to place builds while you peek, or quickly crouch like up and down while you're peeking. Or if you're trying to snipe someone and they're trying to snipe back at you, place a build like a wall in front of you, so instead of the bullet hitting you, it hits that wall instead. Next up, we're going to talk about pushing. How many times have you been in the game and you see someone running towards you and then they start building up? That is pushing. If you show that you're a more aggressive player and you're confident, that's going to make the other player sort of slow down in their efforts in trying to eliminate you. Okay, so when you know how to push, that can make people kind of slow down and think about, hey, do I really want to push this guy right now, or how am I gonna play this fight, instead of just running you over and continuing with their game. So when you push, you want to go for height. That's where you want to ramp. Okay, so when you're going towards someone, you want to try your best to ramp up to them or ramp over them, so you have the high ground. When you're on high ground, don't just immediately jump off and lose height, because the whole reason you were trying to get high ground was so you could see your opponent and you could shoot them and potentially get headshots, because headshots do more damage. Now, if you're on height and you do feel like you should drop down and go push the person because they're lower the weak and you know they're trying to heal, then of course you do that, but in most cases, try your best not to go off from height. And awareness. Awareness is a skill that is developed over time. You know, you're not going to go in your first game and instantly know where everyone's at and things like that, but you're going to want to play the game a lot. You don't have to play every single day for like 8 hours, 10 hours, but as long as you get on the game, get a feel for the game, learn the locations where the chest spawns are and things like that, you know, you're going to do better in the game because you're aware, you know what's going on around you. If you don't know what's going on around you in the game, this is going to be a problem, because you're not going to know how to fight people or where they are. Also, you can see people through builds. So if you see like a person through the build, then obviously you know where they are. That's awareness right there, you know, work on things like that. Another reason you want to play the game is because you need to get a feel for how to use weapons. You need to work on your aim, work on your builds and things like that. But your awareness can also come from watching other people. You watch people play the game, you learn their techniques, and then when you log back on, you're going to have their techniques in your mind. So of course you're going to try to do what they do. So yeah, watching other people can make you better with the game. And that is it for today's video, guys. If you found this helpful, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what else you guys want me to help you with. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel because I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.